Hello everyone, and welcome to A Fistful of Dice. This is going to be the first video in a series of videos I'm going to be doing with my Hirst Arts molds. I don't have the molds or the plaster yet, but otherwise I have everything I need. The molds and the plaster should both be arriving on Friday. I've got two different molds, the cracked tile mold and the basic block mold. For floors and walls, and then I've ordered a 25-pound bag of Merlin's Magic dental plaster. For tutorials on how to do these, I've been looking at the Hirst Arts website, and also two YouTubers, Dungeon Master Mark and Dungeon Master Johnny, have both put out great videos on the Hirst Arts stuff. So let's go through the stuff that I've picked up here. This is kind of a video checklist of things that I have got that I'm going to need. So the first thing that I purchased was a putty knife, a nice wide putty knife with a flat. A lot of putty knives are slanted or kind of diagonal, but you want it flat so that when you scrape the putty off the mold, it all comes off evenly. So, and most people were recommending a metal one, so I just, you know, it's like $3 at Walmart. I just got a nice wide metal putty knife, and this should be plenty wide for both molds, so that should be good. I also picked up a digital timer. Now, my phone has a timer on it, but I want a dedicated timer that I will not be afraid to get plaster on and get paint on and stuff like that. So I picked this up at Walmart for a couple bucks, and this should be pretty handy in timing when the plaster sets and when I need to pop them out of the molds. And it is going to be a trial and error process, but the timer should help make it a little bit more efficient. I also picked up some drop cloth because I live in an apartment. And if I get plaster anywhere, that's, you know, bye-bye to my security deposit. So make sure I made sure I got plenty of drop cloth for the tables and floors when I'm going to be doing this, because I am going to be doing it inside, of course. I also picked up some plastic cups, which I'm going to be using for measuring the water and plaster. There's a tutorial on the Hirst Arts website on how exactly you can measure out the Merlin's Magic plaster just using a couple of these cups. So I picked up a good amount of those. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this or not yet, but I'm interested in making sure that these tiles last for a very long time and hold up to some abuse. So I picked up some matte sealer, and I've used matte sealers before on a lot of the custom terrain that I've done in the past, but it's always been spray sealants, which you have to be outside to use. This is actually a liquid sealant that is like a very thin glue, and I've read reviews on this product, and people seem to like it, and that's kind of what it looks like. It's almost like a thick milk or a thin kind of Elmer's glue, but you can brush that on. So I didn't want to get anything glossy, but I did want to get a nice matte finish that's going to keep these tiles nice and pristine. So I picked up some of that at Walmart for a few bucks, and I just got a bunch of it on my desk here, so that's awesome. Always good. Luckily, I also bought some paper towels, but yeah, gross. I'll just wipe it on my manuscript for my novel, that's fine. Something I picked up that has not been recommended, but that I thought I was fairly clever for getting, is a silicone baking sheet. This is completely flexible silicone, and the reason why I got this is because the Hirst Arts molds themselves are silicone, and if I cast on this, if I put the molds on here, both of them, and pour the plaster in and then scrape them on here, I can actually wait for the plaster to dry and then just bend this and crack all of the plaster off of it for a nice clean cleanup. This was like $10 on Amazon, and if I needed to, I could get multiples, but this is an 11 by 17 sheet and is plenty big for a couple of molds, so I actually would be interested in what you guys think. Sorry, my camera's starting to slide. No edits. what you guys who have done Hirst Arts stuff before think about this, because I think this is pretty clever, and it rolls right up without losing its shape. So pretty proud of myself of that, for thinking of that. All right, what else do we got here? We've got brushes for painting. This is actually a set of brushes that I've had for a while. I got this. You can get this exact same pack of brushes. It comes with 25 different brushes for like $4 at Walmart. This is awesome. I mean, these brushes are not like amazing, but for priming and base and dry brushing, which is what we're going to be doing with the Hirst Arts mold, there's some good brushes in here. Some nice big brushes, and if I ever wanted to do any detailing, there's some small brushes too. But yeah, I've had that for a while for some various terrain projects that I've done, and I like that set. And then I'm going to be using 3 different acrylic paints here. I'm a big fan of acrylic paint. It's cheap, and if you combine it with a sealer, it tends to hold up pretty well to some wear and tear. Now, I'm not a fan of mixing paint. I like the colors to be consistent, and whenever I end up mixing paint, the color always shifts between painting times, and I want to be able to just have some set colors here. So I'm going to be basing them with black, doing the first dry brush coat with this, what color is this here? It's just apple barrel. It is pewter gray, so I'm going to be dry brushing with pewter gray. And then this here is, I don't know, it's like a lighter gray. That'll be the second base coat. And then I might do a third base coat in white, but I probably won't. I think I'm just going to do base, dry coat, or dry brush. So those are the 3 paints I'm going to be using. And then for cutting mounts, I've got my handy-dandy cutting board, which I've had for a few years, and a nice sharp X-Acto knife, which I have also used quite a bit on projects. Now, I also don't have the mounting material yet that I'm going to be using. A lot of people use the black foam core, like the Elmer's foam core stuff, like the stuff that you make school projects with, but that stuff is not made from recycled material, and it cannot be recycled. And Dungeon Master Mark makes a really good point in his videos where he talks about the fact that it's just landfill fodder, and I really do not like adding, if I can help it, I don't like adding a bunch of scraps to the landfill, and I'm going to be cutting up this stuff a lot to make certain shapes for the mounting these things on. So I'm going to be using this stuff called chipboard, which is basically what like cereal boxes are made out of. It's a very thin cardboard that is fairly flexible, but it will stay in a straight line, or it'll stay straight if it has reinforcement. That's what Dungeon Master Mark uses, and I really like the look of his tiles. They're nice, and they don't have a bunch of foam on the bottom of them, so I like that look. So I'm going to use chipboard, and I don't actually eat cereal. I don't eat cereal at all. I have no cereal boxes in my house, and I don't have a lot of cardboard that is the same thickness in my house. So unfortunately, I can't just raid my recycling bin for cardboard to use for this project if I want the tiles to be a consistent height. So what I did is I went online and I found some chipboard that is pretty much 100% recycled material. And I found it in black. So I've got 2 things of chipboard. So I'm going to have 50 sheets of 8.5 by 11 black chipboard delivered to my apartment. And that should be plenty. And I like the fact that it's black too. It'll look nice on the bottom of the tiles. So that is, I think, is that everything I've got? Yeah, so this is everything I've got. Oh, the glue. I don't know where my glue is, but I've got, it's just Crafter's glue. It's like the brown bottle of Crafter's glue that I'm going to be using. So Dungeon Master Johnny used that, and I'm pretty sure Dungeon Master Mark uses that as well. So yeah, so this is going to be a really fun project, guys. I'm looking forward to documenting my progress with the Hirst Arts molds, and I hope you guys enjoy them too. I'm really looking forward to having some pretty cool 3D dungeon terrain at my disposal. So Anyway, guys, that's it for me for now. Look forward to another video in the Hirst Arts series next week when I start casting. So take care, guys, and happy gaming all.